Well, here it comes.
Got to get my brain fuel real quick. Shout out to Rogue. Jack, you doing all right tonight?
Good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good. You know, I was on Instagram or something earlier, and I got a little blast from the past. Do you remember like the late 2000s Nike Pro Combat uniforms that some of those colleges were wearing?
Yeah, iconic. Well, some of them were iconic, but
Yeah, I was clicking through. Like, I remember the TCU one being awesome,
yeah,
but then some of them didn't really age well. I'm gonna share my screen.
some of them were crap. Like straight crap. Honestly, Clemson's were kind of crap when they finally got them. Not
But
good.
they got the same style they always wear, right? Like, look at
Yeah.
some of these. This is like from 2010, I think. This is the 2010 lineup right here. So TCU's all the way on the left
Yeah,
right
that's
here.
good.
Not that bad.
That's
They got
good.
the gray, like
Top
two-tone top. I think they even had like the frog skin,
Yeah.
like made onto the helmets or whatever. Alabama's always going like Alabama. Dude, those Miami ones though, trash. Like these
yeah,
are
that's
this
a lot
is
of
terrible.
orange.
Yeah, I don't like
orange.
the green helmets. Like that's just too much.
Who's the one next to Miami? Who is that?
That's Missouri.
That's
So if
not
you
bad.
remember, they had like they had like a light gray helmet with a dark gray on it, and then it was all white. And then Boise States are a classic. You know, I don't know if I like the gray top, but the blue helmet with the oversized horse is a cool little touch.
I feel like they've kept that too. The oversized horse, didn't they keep that?
I think they still roll with that. I think. I'm sure they got some alternates nowadays.
Is that Oregon State?
Yeah, it's Oregon State right there. The next one over, I remember this one didn't have logos on the sides. I don't know about you, but I really like Oregon State's the beaver helmet. Like just that beaver logo, I think is really sharp. Now this one on the right,
is that Georgia?
I think it's either Wisconsin or Ohio State. I'm pretty sure. I think it's Ohio State, but yeah, that's terrible. That's
what is
trash.
that font? That font is like Times New Roman.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. And then to the right of that, I believe is West Virginia. Or no, it's Pittsburgh. This is Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I remember right.
That's not bad. They've gone more to like the rich blue and gold.
Yeah, this is back in the Navy and gold days, I guess. And then to the right of them, they got the Florida ones. I don't know if I like the pants with the helmet combo. Like I like when the helmet matches the pants.
Yeah.
You know, if they did like the orange pants, keep that orange helmet or go blue and blue. I don't know. All the way on the right though, I think probably other than TCU, maybe my favorite in the group though was Virginia Tech. Do you remember these? They had the two-tone colored
kind of
numbers.
Faded into like garnet or whatever their color is, maroon.
Yeah, it's like
and
garnet
orange.
fading into orange. And then in the numbers themselves, and you've been to Virginia Tech, right? I think you kind of know that they're famous for that sandstone kind of look. And I think that's kind of etched into the numbers there. So I don't know. I mean, it was a blast down memory lane for me, but it got me thinking about just uniforms in general. And I know you got some equipment background, but you know, when you think about uniforms, what are some things that are kind of your pet peeves? Or
well, first off, I'm very picky with uniforms, and you know, some of the guys I work with now will probably agree with that. I'm very picky, but because I think that, you know, that's your first impression, so it's really important to get it right, especially in a high school. You know, when you're not getting new uniforms, it's St. Clemson. You ain't buying a new set every year. You can't just change it next year.
You might have these for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, you got to get it right. I'm kind of classic though, like stripes. All right, so if you're wearing stripes, first off, your helmet stripe has to match the jersey stripe if there's a stripe on the jersey, right?
Yes, I agree with that.
You can't be doing all this crazy stuff, mismatching stripes. That's bad.
Yeah, you can't have like the colors invert on the shoulders or whatever your jersey, and then they be another way on the helmet. I agree with that.
It needs to match, and then your stripes on your helmet need to match your emblem on the side. Colors need to match. Like you can't go, which I don't know why you would, but you can't go like white, gold stripes and then go over here and go like blue and gray. You know, it has to match. It has to be cohesive.
Are you talking about like the pride stickers and stuff? Or you're talking about the logos on the side?
The actual logo. Yeah.
Got you.
All that has to match. And then your face mask color has to be in your stripe color, because otherwise it's just kind of
like if it's a white. So I'm a sucker for the 3 stripes, but it's usually like, and I think it's probably just the Clemson fan in me. So, you know, they got the orange helmet, and then they got the purple with the one white.
And then they got white face mask. So that white kind of ties in.
Yeah, the white kind of ties in. So I agree with you there. I never thought about that though, but I do agree that's a clean look.
It has to match. Now, if you go like Penn State, just plain helmet, that kind of opens the door for your uniform a little bit. But if you're going a plain helmet, your jersey is going to be plain too. Like that, you're going for the traditional look. You can't have a plain helmet and then go crazy on the uniform, right? You know what I mean?
Like a Oregon uniform with a Alabama helmet or something like that.
You just can't. Yeah, it's got to be cohesive, and it's hard to do. I get it, but I'm really picky about that kind of stuff, and it really bothers me if stuff doesn't match. Your pants, all right. So if you have a stripe on your pants, okay, also has to match your helmet stripe in some way.
Yeah,
like if you have 3, red, white, and blue, whatever stripe on your jersey, you need to have red, white, blue on your pants in some point. Unless you're just going plain pants, that's fine too.
I like plain pants.
Yeah,
I don't like the stripe on the pants. Like,
yeah, I like plain.
Yeah, no little fancy like curve, like the Broncos. The Broncos have that curved point on their thigh board or whatever.
Yeah,
not a fan of that. Maybe just the plain pants.
And it's cheaper if you just get like stock pants.
Yeah,
if you're worried about budget.
Colors.
Yeah, it's way cheaper. But like we just redid, we just got our allotment came up, so our football team got new ones, and so we spent a good bit of time, or I did at least, just obsessing about that for a few months. And you get on Nike team and you can build all these whatever and look at them, and prices of everything are going up, just throughout the years, and that goes to uniforms as well, because we were looking at some that I loved. And like I was bought in on them, like we got to get these, got to get them. They look great, too expensive. We had to kind of bump it back to not an old model, but like last year's model. They just came out with new ones this year, so we had to bump back. I think the Fuse is the brand new one, FUSE.
I hadn't heard of those.
We had to go back to like Vapor Pro, which is still a great jersey, but it is what it is. But I think we came out on top. I won't release anything about them yet because our kids haven't seen them and we want to do a big reveal with them. But I think they'll be excited. They look pretty sharp.
I remember, it was my second or third year I was at BHP. I guess we had some money come up, and so we were going to get an alternate set of uniforms. And so we normally wore the navy tops, white or navy bottoms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were going to take this new allotment because our blues were in pretty good shape. And then we had just gotten some whites, I think. So we're just going to keep the blues that we had for another stretch and then have these red ones that we were going to add in. Yeah, I think we didn't tell the kids, but I think the coaches had more excitement just getting to design them. And like our boss was great. He's asking for everybody to kind of just throw in what their ideas are. But he wanted it to be a red jersey. And, I'm kind of a traditionalist or whatever. If we're going to have an alternate, I don't want it to be totally different style than what the current home and current away are.
Right, I agree.
I want it to be basically the same layout. We're just going to flip colors around.
Yeah.
But that it can kind of mix and match or whatever. But man, some of the suggestions we got from some of the other coaches on staff, it was like our home uniform and our away uniform were just kind of the straight up. We had the little BHP right there in the middle, and it was just blue and those crazy stripes.
Yeah, they're kind of like Georgia, right? They look kind of like Georgia's.
Yeah. But then some of these red ones we were getting, it was like the Oregon whatever textures on the shoulders, and I'm like, you can't do that. So I literally I studied a picture of our home uniforms, and I was just like replacing navy with red, replacing red with navy, white is still white or whatever. Knock on wood, those are the ones they wound up picking. The one thing I couldn't get was on some of those newer Nike jerseys at the time, you had to pick like a color for the collar. And I guess I could have just made it the same, but because on the home jersey, they had the navy jersey with a red collar. On the red one, I did red with the navy collar. But in hindsight, I don't really like those colored collar things that on some of the Nike uniforms.
And they've kind of gone, that's still a thing. Even with the newest ones, I think that's like pretty standard is the different color collar, and it can be done and look good. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I am plain. I'm traditional too.
I feel like a lot of schools now, especially in college, are going to like a just modern classic kind of look. Yeah, it's a newer uniform. They might have a little accent different, but in terms of like what the layout of the uniform is, it's pretty clean, like just kind of plain. I do like what the Broncos did with some of theirs on the side. It's got like the mountain range on the shoulder. But other than that, it's a pretty clean uniform.
I'll tell you what I like a lot is shoulder and sleeve numbers. So like, when we were in school, we may have had
we had numbers on the, what do they call it, the side shoulder.
Yeah, and now they do them here.
On the actual,
Like, well, you can do both or one, whichever one you like. But, and maybe it goes to when I was at Clemson, they had just gone from, like, those early 2000s uniforms, like C.J. Spilla, Spiller era uniforms where it was just really just plain orange number on the sleeve and chest number whatever, and they added the paw up
that was
here.
a clean switch up.
So they like went back to like the 80s when they won the national championship. They went back to that era and kind of replicated it, and it looked good. So maybe that's why I like it a lot. But no, dude, it's crazy. The options they have now is insane.
I feel like there's only certain logos where the shoulder logo would look good.
But yeah,
for some reason, the Clemson paw, I feel like anything that's like a simple logo, I think that's going to look good on the shoulders, as long as it's not like super oversized or whatever. Clemson paw looks good. I think for you guys, a horseshoe would look pretty good, depending on how big it was.
Yeah, and I found some pictures, back in the, I don't know, 70s, 80s, whatever. They had them, the jerseys had the horseshoe up here, and it looked pretty good. We kind of went, you remember the Nike uniforms we had when we were in school? We kind of, paid homage to that and went kind of back to that.
We had like a 2 white stripe on the shoulder, right? And then numbers were on the outside
Straight
of the shoulder.
Indianapolis Colts is what it was.
Yeah, we did. We were just the red Colts.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So they're
Colts
a little
have
different.
a clean look, though.
Yeah, no, they looked good. I mean, that was Nike in 2000, whatever. We were living pretty lavish. We didn't know.
Yeah, we were doing all right. We didn't know any better.
Yeah, they look good though. I mean, I liked them, and the new ones are kind of similar. Again, I'm not going to spread too much out here, but
we won't give it all away.
I think the kids will be excited.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Speaking of uniforms, it's about time for us to do our team of the week. We started this up last week, throwing it in there, the chat GPT. I can't remember the prompt, but we wanted to make sure it wasn't one of the national known teams, so we don't want chat GPT to throw out IMG Academy or somebody like that.
Yeah.
We want small town America or just random America high school team. So Jack, I think you already got chat GPT prompted up.
Yes.
Are you ready to figure out who our team of the week is this week?
Yeah, let me share this so nobody thinks there's any tomfoolery going on here.
I promise this is not staged. We don't know what AI is about to throw in here.
You're going to see me type it. Let's see. I'm even going to put it in quotes.
Ooh, give me the team of the week, Fourth and Ward podcast.
And here we go.
All right.
Watch, it's not going to work now. It's going to mess up.
And they think this is going to take our jobs.
All right, here we go. What is this? Okay, here we go.
Oh, I think it's pulling up where we talked about it last week.
Hey, if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it now. It's right there.
There we go. Little callback to last week's episode.
All right, let's try this again to recognize for our team of the week. Let me type random. I need a random team. All right, here we go. Let's get us one. Wow.
All right, who we got?
The Hillcrest Rams.
In South Carolina?
Yeah.
Like Simpsonville?
Yeah.
Well, that ain't too far from
No, that's literally down the street from my house. Should we do another? That feels too close.
We got to trust the AI.
All right.
They're going to be our bosses one day. Let's check out Hillcrest. Let's check out their uniforms since we're on the topic of uniforms today.
Yeah, let's see if we can find them here.
Now, Hillcrest has had a pretty good run recently. Right?
Yeah. Ball. All right. Let's see what we got. All right. These.
So what are they working with? I was about to say, you probably know what they're.
All right. So it looks like we got some. Oh, all right.
All right. That's a pretty clean helmet. We got the black helmet, white outer stripe. Was that a chrome? I guess the whole stripe is chrome.
Got a chrome red. The only drawback here is we got Under Armour. It's not great.
Yeah, it's kind of a knock. They got the Under Armour.
But they look pretty sharp, man.
I like those shoulder stripes that they got. Like you said, the stripe on the shoulder matches the helmet stripe. That is a clean look. I will say, and this is not a knock, I do not like that H logo that they have with the pointed H. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just, I'm not a big fan of schools that use letters as their logos anyway.
It just feels like cheating, really. I mean, they got the opportunity. The Rams, they have so much. And they would be copying a lot of teams, but they could do a lot with the Rams mascot. They got a red alternate. Oh, that was their. Hold on.
I mean, that logo is actually not too bad, actually. I've seen way worse.
I mean, that red looks sharp, but.
It almost looks like the logo's a little too big. Maybe it's just on that one guy's helmet right there.
Yeah.
He might be rocking well, that was a Speed Flex, I think. So
let's see if I can specify this a little more. All right, so we got black and red uniforms. Looks like they might have.
They got some alternates.
Looks like an older picture.
Now you're the plug in the upstate. How have they been doing recently? I think it might have been maybe right after I moved out of South Carolina. I think they had a really deep run, didn't they, in the playoffs?
Yeah, they've been pretty good. I think they hired what's his name? Bennett Swaggart? I don't know if I'm saying that right. As their head coach, and I think he's done pretty well. Let's see what we can find out.
I was about to say, let's fire up the old Max preps right here. Let's see how the Hillcrest Rams have been doing.
Here we go. All right. So let's check out last year. 8-4, 4-3.
8-4.
Really good home
games.
record.
So they went
5-1.
2 rounds deep.
See who we got. I mean, looks like if they beat you, they beat the tar off of you.
I was about to say, they lost to JL, man. JL, man,
now,
is terrible.
JL, man, I think went to Upper State, like won Upper State last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, my gosh. They were terrible back when I was in South. Even when we were, like, in high school, they were terrible.
Yeah. Now, their coach, I think, left right after this season, this last year, and is now at Lawrence or something. If you know who that is, there's some, whatever about that guy. But, they've kind of turned it around. I'm telling you, I think, 10-3. They turned it around. I went and watched one of their Upper State games, I think. I don't need a car. I just bought one today. Easily, Greenville.
So they had to play Greenwood twice. They lost both times. Now, Greenwood traditionally is pretty daggone good.
Yeah, that second one, though, is pretty close, man.
Yeah, they lost to Teal Hanna. Pretty good season, though, by the Hillcrest Rams, our team of the week. Shout out to the Rams out there in Simpsonville, South Carolina. Not too far from where we grew up, actually.
And that's 5A ball, too. I mean, that's, the big of the big.
Yeah, that ain't slouches. That's South Carolina only goes up to 5A still, right?
Right, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, 5A is split.
Okay. Yeah, that's how all the divisions out here are split. I guess because there's some really big – I guess there's some bigger South Carolina 5As.
Yeah,
that's probably why they split it. I got you. Well, heck. Yeah. Why you got ChatGPT fired up and we're talking about uniforms. Yeah, let's say we let's design us up our dream uniforms right here.
Okay.
But, we got to make a little bit of a challenge out of it, all right?
All right.
So let's get a made-up school name, made-up school, made-up mascot, and then just random color scheme, all right? We got to try to make a fire set of uniforms on the Nike Team Builder.
Get some good grammar here.
I was about to say, let's see what ChatGPT throws out for our
color scheme. Think that's good enough?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. The Briar Gulch Timberjacks.
Briar Gulch. Where is that?
That's Montana.
Okay. I wonder if they already got a high school or if we're in uncharted waters here.
Let's see what we can find for them.
I mean,
nothing's popping up.
Okay, so this is truly a made up. All right. Okay, here we go. What kind of colors are we working with?
Looks like we got, first mascot, Timber the Jack. He's a flannel wearing lumberjack with an axe and a beard. Okay. We got burnt orange, slate gray, and forest green.
Burnt orange, slate gray, forest green. Okay, so burnt orange is going to be the primary, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Slate gray is the secondary, and then we got a little accent color of forest green.
Looks like it.
All right. Okay.
That's tough.
That's going to be it's going to be interesting. All right. I've got Team Builder fired up. And do you remember doing this like when we were in school? Like we would just get to the computer lab. We didn't all have Chromebooks or iPads. But if you ever got to go to computer lab, you were designing like custom tennis shoes and
all the time.
Crap like
that.
Still
to this day, really. I still do that.
Yeah. It's a great way to pass the time. All right. So I am on Nike Team Store here. So we got to figure out our kits for what are we? The forest? No,
we are the Briar Gulch Timberjacks. Basically lumberjacks.
Okay. All right. So we kind of talked about this already. We're both traditionalists, all right? So any jersey that's like this here.
What even is that? What school is wearing that?
I mean, I don't know. Like people get paid at Nike it's called electricity.
Like that's rec ball stuff, man. Like that's.
Yeah, that's a AAU.
Yeah. And if you're paying $150 for a rec ball jersey.
No, is it not even going to load it for me? I was trying to get a closer look at this. All right, there it is. Oh my gosh. That is rec ball.
That is,
that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. All right, so we know for sure we're not doing anything like that, especially if you're the Timberjacks.
You got to be classic.
Timberjack, you can't have electricity or zigzags all over the place. All right, so let's see here. I know we both enjoy a little shoulder stripe action, but I don't like how this set right here has the shoulder stripe that then changes color of the sleeve. Like,
what's going on there?
I want my jersey to be all the same color.
Yeah. Now, the Oklahoma State one's pretty classic.
Oklahoma State's a classic look. It's got the 3 stripes on the shoulder. I like that one.
And then, what's this? That's a youth jersey down there.
I don't know if I like the just straight one color.
Yeah. Well, that's a practice jersey.
Okay,
which is wild. Why would you get a custom practice jersey?
Good call. Yeah,
okay, we got a little
call.
Patriots action going on down here.
Yeah, that's a straight Patriots knockoff. I don't know if I feel like it's a lot of stripe on the shoulder right here.
Yeah.
I like these to the left. It's just a two stripe on the side shoulder. Those Oklahoma State ones keep calling my name. Those.
Yeah, that feels.
I think we're on all the leggings.
We're doing custom tights now. What are we doing?
I will do the coach's gear maybe next week or something. All right, so we know we're not doing zigzags and all that. So
that's a youth one too. That black Oklahoma State.
No,
I don't. What's that got on the sleeve? That's like the one up there. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, I think it's just got like a two-tone a little bit on the shoulder. You know what? I'm speaking to you. That seeing Oklahoma State twice is
go up. Is there any more up? No. Now that isn't.
This isn't bad. It's got like I don't like that fang looking. I don't like the pointed collar thing it's got going on right there.
It'd have to be like rattlesnakes or something.
And then I'm tired of 7-on-7, so I'm not even gonna look at those 7-on-7.
Yeah, no. I say the Oklahoma State. Because I think you can change the stripe too. So if we're not in love with that stripe, you can change it a little bit.
And this is a $90 blank. All right. So that's not definitely not as expensive. I don't think. I didn't see what some of these other ones were.
And now
these Patriots ones are $150. All right, so we'll use Oklahoma State as the and it's a 2-word school name. And what's our name again? Briar Gulch.
Briar Gulch Timberjacks.
All right, now we got I don't know if we're gonna be able to match the colors.
Yeah, I don't see a single orange.
We got team orange down here. We need like a burnt.
That might be the closest we can get. It's team.
Yeah, this might be it.
Got gorge green, baby.
I guess that's close to forest green.
It's slate gray. Is that dark or light?
Slate would be a darker gray. I think
like the anthracite.
I think it'd be closer to this wolf gray right here. Anthracite's a little darker, I think. You might want to double check that one though. So I think me and you kind of both know. Like if I were gonna do this, I would say where can I type in I would say we're definitely probably gonna have. I don't like colored numbers though. If that makes sense. I like white numbers.
Yeah.
But us not having a white in our color scheme, that's kind of tough. All right, neck bands. I'm not a fan of colored neck bands. Are you good with just leaving it orange?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Sleeve bands. What even is a sleeve band?
That's the trim around the edge of the sleeve. Yeah, the armpit.
Oh, heck no. I don't like the give me just the straight color. All right, yeah, no. All right, sleeve stripes. Okay, so we can do a little something with the side stripes here.
I mean, hazard, trees falling, lumberjack. I hate that stuff. I hate that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. What is this crack black? What is that? Is a fat stripe, or is it 4 colors on the
3
right here? You know, like a I don't know. I mean, that's not the worst I've ever seen. That slanted stripe on that.
What is
that is double move. This is terrible. That's a lot going on the shoulders. Was this the original one we had on here?
I think. Yeah, I think so. No, I think maybe double move was the original.
That's awful. Hyper rush. Who's getting hyper rush on the sleeves? Like that's got to be we had gridiron. I think it was gridiron.
Yeah, I think so.
Or just horizontal. It might have been horizontal. That's just a 2-striper.
I don't mind the old school, and I don't mind.
I like the old school, and I like that. I don't know. The old school, I think, would look pretty solid when we get these colors on here. All right, so let's tinker with the colors a little bit on the. So stripe 1. So what are our colors? Slate gray, and forest green.
Yeah, so slate gray, I just looked it up, is kind of in between that dark steel gray and that anthracite. So either one of those, I think we can use. Whichever one looks better.
Yeah, I think. All right, so let's go with the slate gray green and then slate gray and just kind of see what we're working with here.
These colors, man,
that's tough. It's tough to work with. And our primary color's got to be orange.
I mean, we can try another color scheme.
I'll say we could invert it and then go green as the jersey.
Green might be better as a jersey because I think the orange trim, like orange accents, would be
all right,
less.
So let's get back over here.
Egregious.
Let's go gorge green.
See, all like the orange doesn't look as bad when it's not the main color. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a lot going on. All right, so if we go do all the green like we had,
It's giving me like Eastern Michigan.
it does have that kind of vibe to it. All right, so we got the old school stripes. All right, so let's get these stripes back on. All right, so we were burnt orange or team
Oh, now
orange. I'm
there's
sorry.
bright ceramic. Is that more burnt orange or is that?
I thought burnt orange. It's like a darker
Yeah, I think you're right. What
bright
about
ceramic.
desert orange?
Where's that at? Oh, I see. Oh, that might be what we're working with here.
Is that burnt?
What about sundown?
That's bright.
That's bright. Yeah, I think it's either gonna be this team orange or desert orange.
Because isn't Texas burnt orange?
Yeah, and it's like a darker kind of. This might be more in line with it. Team orange looked like we had Oklahoma State on there. All right, so let's go. Stripe 2 is that gray color. Stripe 3 as
It's a lot of white. I don't know if it's just because there's still white on the other parts, but
the problem is I don't like, honestly, if we had the full jersey as the dark orange option.
That's true. We didn't. Well, you can't do that. They don't give you
I was
that
about
option.
to say I don't think it had that as an option.
Come on,
Yeah,
Nike.
it's not even on here. Yeah, what are we doing?
All right, hear me out. What if we did? I know there's not a slate gray jersey, but what if you did the anthracite as the body?
Okay.
That's dark. Oh man. And then we got orange and green on the stripe. We might have to change the stripe. I think with these colors, that stripe's too much.
All right, so we go back. What if we did what if we did no stripes?
Just blank.
But then that's just gonna be plain though.
Yeah, if you do no stripes, you got to do sleeve numbers.
Well, we did one color stripes.
Like
just one color on the. So let's say like well, yeah, I don't know. This is tough. The GPT didn't do us any favors trying to pick out.
That's terrible.
Good God, that is awful. Please discontinue that, Nike. That is terrible. It's like 6 different colors on the stripes. Like, what if we did this hazard?
Yeah,
All right, back at the
let's
hazard.
try it. Let's try it.
And just get the one color. So are we good with do we want to go back to the orange as that orange is just so bright. I think I kind of like the green jersey.
Yeah, that green's pretty smooth.
And let's see what a orange stripe looks like. All right, so we are now looking at desert orange on the stripe. The problem is the numbers and stuff. I guess we could outline the numbers in the.
Yeah, but we can't use white really. That's not one of the colors. We have to use gray.
That's so tough. God dang it! Why did ChatGPT give us this daggone?
Yeah, it's making us work.
Yeah, if I can use white, like it's such a clean look. I don't know if I like these hazard stripes, these vertical looking. But there's just so many. I keep clicking on those freaking Hyper Rush ones for some reason. All right, what about the two-tone right here?
It's not terrible.
What if we went back to the original? All right, and what if we just forced the white to kind of be in there? Like, what if we did old school and the middle stripe is white, but then I just don't like the idea of that gray being the numbers.
Yeah, I really don't know if that's allowed with the high school league in South Carolina.
I don't know about that.
It has the contrasts, but I don't know.
Green and gray. That's just like 3 dark colors. You got no.
I guess the light gray. If you did the light gray, it might not be on the numbers and stuff. It might not be as bad, but that's still not very. That's pretty light. But God, these colors are terrible.
These colors are terrible. Where's a nice like blue and orange or blue and white?
I mean, we can get another team.
I don't know. This is part of the challenge, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we got to force white to be in there a little bit because now we can go that orange color as the outline and some of the numbering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, if we got to stick to what the rules are and it's got to contrast, we're only, we're doing what we can to make it work. But I guess we got to fit the slate gray in somehow.
Yeah.
All right. What are we thinking so far?
It's better than it was.
I don't think we're going to.
All right, hear me. So I just asked ChatGPT for the Briar Gulch Timberjacks full color scheme.
All right, what we got?
Primary burnt orange, secondary slate gray, tertiary forest green, accent cream white. So we need some dingy white in there.
All right. Well, if the primary
is orange,
so I think we got to make the jerseys the orange color.
It says that's their signature color seen in helmets and jerseys.
Okay. Well, the only option we got is the bright orange.
Yeah,
which I feel like that might actually help us.
Hopefully, because Lord.
All right, so let me get back. I got to change these neck bands and all this again.
We should have made this. Let's make the ugliest uniforms we can. That would have been easier.
That'd have been so simple.
Just give me that hyper rush stripe and it's done.
All right, here we go. Stripes. So the secondary was the gray?
The secondary is gray.
And we're using the steel gray.
Actually, that's a lot better already.
This is a lot better. Now, do we keep the white or do we make that the green? And then we can have the outline of the numbers be green. That's going to look rough.
We got to mix this cream in here somewhere. Does Nike even have a cream in there?
I forgot about the cream. Jesus.
They don't even have cream.
Yeah, we're out of our... good gosh.
Team Gold looks like some expired cream.
Hey, we ought to cook up our uniforms and then ask ChatGPT to show me a picture of the uniforms that they would wear.
Oh yeah,
Let's see a little comparison. All right. Well, we can't do cream, so white's the best we're working with here.
Yeah, white will be fine.
Now, how are we gonna fit this green in here? Do we do green in this middle? Because I don't know if that's the answer.
That ain't it. Try the Nike swoosh in green. Let's try to keep the green to a minute. Scroll up. So that swoosh. Options? Yeah. Let's try that.
Gorge green.
Just to get it in there.
And then we outline the numbering and all that.
Yeah.
Good God.
Maybe if we type the name in, maybe it'll get better. Maybe if we type the name.
I hope so.
Yeah. So yeah, add. No, just go up.
Crash it out now. All right.
Then there.
How do you spell this crap? Briar?
BRIAR space Gulch. Yep. What is that color now? Okay. All right. What font we got?
Ugh.
So you can make it smaller. That next option makes it smaller.
If I go to print style.
If you just click the second option, embroidered straight name, that's a little smaller.
That's better.
And then you can change the font.
Bolder.
And that's kind of.
Yeah. I don't know if that's giving me like a Colorado vibe.
What about, I think that's what it is. Uncontested. That just looks like.
That looks terrible.
Again, Nike, what are we doing with these fonts, man?
Yeah,
all right, hear me out. Just try the Michigan State. Nope.
That's big.
What about Bureau?
That's not bad.
All right, that's not terrible. Now you can also do an outline on the names.
All right.
If you go to print style, no, I guess you have to do the big name to do the 2 color.
So we have to change the font again. Oh my God. So we go 2 colors.
So, there's that rule, right? Your home jersey has your mascot name because everybody knows who you are. And your away jersey has your team name.
So we can do, what is it,
Timberjacks? This might not be better, though.
That's a big name.
What about just Jacks?
Jacks would be cool.
And I wish they had the script, like the cursive, which that doesn't really go with the lumberjack thing. Oh, they do have it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I like that.
I don't.
What were we on earlier? Bureau? That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And then we go outline color in gorge green. Got that already.
Yeah.
That's not bad. It's better.
It's better.
I still got to figure out. God dang, they are making this tough. All right.
Let's get that front number taken care of. We got to match the font. Yeah, you can't have all these different fonts going on. You know what?
My God.
Maybe we can't have different fonts because that's absolutely terrible.
That is awful.
That's fine. Yeah, that's way better than the other one.
It just gets worse.
Michigan State's jerseys don't look that bad, so I don't know why they slander their name like that. That matches up pretty well.
That's not bad. Yeah, I don't like italicized numbers. I don't like, I like a good just regular.
Just block letters.
All right, so we're gonna roll with that. I think. Can I do the 2 colors? All right, so white with an outline of gorge green.
All right, hear me out. What happens if the field number is gray?
All right, let's see.
It's back
just
to
the whites. Yeah, the white.
What's bad
white is just.
What's bad is that would actually be cream, not white.
Yeah, it makes it worse. Good gosh.
Oh, all right. Make do with what you got.
Let me change the number real quick.
All right, here we go.
I feel like we got to go back and put green on the shoulders now.
Yeah, really. Do they have one that has, just a small outline third stripe? Like can we keep that stripe with just a little tiny green on the edge of it? Or in between it, maybe.
All right, so stripes. All right, so we are looking for how many colors? I get 3 color options here.
What about crackback? That's kind of the same stripe, but with an extra little thing on the edge. that green will be less, if that makes any sense.
All right, so that small stripe is going to be our green. Stripe 2.
That's the gray, I guess.
And then
Cream.
we're doing green. God almighty. Not the cream. God, this is awful. I thought this was going to go way better.
Yeah, we got to ask him to give us a better color scheme next time.
God dang. What if we went gray in the middle, take this back to team orange? God, this ain't getting any better.
It is rough.
Yeah, what if we did top one gorge green? What about that right there? Just wish they were a little thinner.
Yeah.
Those are 2 thick stripes.
You know what? We've been hating on it. Let's try Hyper Rush. Let's just try it. You never know. The jersey's already ugly.
We got 6 colors to make work here. My God. All right, so let's just see what we're working with here. I feel like that's got to be gray. What's our
secondary is gray. The accents would technically be cream.
Good God, this is miserable.
Yeah, this is
here. I am thinking we're gonna be able to cook up some cool uniforms, like just sitting here. Let's go green. I'm just trying to throw something.
Honestly, that is not the worst option.
That's not the worst. That's not that bad. I just feel like it needed a little white.
Yeah, needs something.
Like if I throw, hey,
that's not bad.
That's not bad. Just a lot of green. It's a thicker stripe than I would like. I mean, I just can't think of a way to invert that. To
go to or scroll down. Sorry, go over to text. So when you click on sleeve or shoulder numbers, click well, I guess that's your only option is shoulder.
Yeah, because we got those.
Oh, because you have a stripe.
God dang. I mean, I feel like it's a lot of green on the shoulders.
It is.
But it's better than it was.
So maybe we try to balance it out and go green neckband. I know you hate that, but
yeah, all right, let's go back and try it. I'm willing to try anything to save this project.
Maybe that balances it out a little bit.
It's not bad.
It kind of brings it all together,
Yeah, it's not bad. It adds a little more green, so it feels like all the green's just not on the. This is actually not bad. I'm good with this.
It's giving me kind of, and I think it's just the orange, but the SCLSU Mud Dogs and the Bourbon Bowl kind of thing.
It's giving me that Bobby Boucher vibes on that. Oh man. If only we had a logo to what's a home plate?
That's the V of the neck, little logo right there.
Ask ChatGPT what our logo is.
Already did. It's a very detailed image of a lumberjack. I needed something simpler.
All right. Well, this is what we got, guys, with our random input from ChatGPT.
Now, we're not doing are we doing away?
Oh God, no.
Cream, just all cream.
At least the cream. That's the one thing Nike had going for us. It didn't have a cream option to make us bang our head against the wall any more than that. That was rough, man. God dang.
I'm gonna see what.
Hey, did you ever look up what ChatGPT's recommendation for the uniform was?
Yeah, let's see. What is their name? Dutch
Timberjacks. Briar Gulch.
Briar Gulch.
Yeah, let's get a live look at what ChatGPT's going to recommend, because it's going to be something stupid. I bet.
Get you back over here. All right. So I'm gonna say, can you create an image of potential uniforms? That works.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what she's got. She's thinking. That new fiber internet's working. Getting started. What were you just doing?
They think it's going to replace us. Although I'll be honest, the cream's rough. Like, we got to keep that in mind. Like, whatever it has cream on its uniforms, that was going to have to be us if we.
Here it comes. That's going to give me 4. Look at that. It's going to give me 4 options. Oh, the cream helmets. Here we go. Drum roll. We got different. Oh, I ain't going to lie. The far right, a little Miami Dolphins-esque.
Yeah. I mean, if it didn't have those, honestly, it didn't do a bad job.
It really didn't. It even got the Nike logo.
It kind of looks like ours. Other than we had just Jacks.
Yeah. And they got the rule wrong. I mean, your home jersey has the mascot and your away has the team name, but whatever. I'll let it pass.
If it didn't have the green pants on the first one, I don't think that's a bad uniform.
What is the logo? What is that on the helmet?
I don't know.
What is that?
Looks like some guy with an axe. The orange, white, orange. That's not bad. That's not bad. Bravo. It was able to do a little more. Of course, it's got more options. We're sitting there on Nike Team Builder. It's able to kind of break whatever mold it wants, get the full custom. But we got to remember that's cream. That is not clean white. So that'll add a little bit to it.
I got to see what the logo is.
Yeah, get a full size of the logo. Let me get some merch thrown up. Hey, did you ever look into that Mesquite Skeeters merch?
Oh yeah, I ordered some. Yeah, I gotta wait for it to come in. Let's see what we got. The Briar Gulch Timberjacks logo. I feel like they also wouldn't be a Nike school. Let's be honest. They're like a Rawlings or something crazy.
Small town Montana. I'm not thinking Nike's. Of course, they might only have like 25 guys on the varsity. They might be able to really deck those guys out.
We got a circle logo.
I'm not a fan of circle emblems.
Is it just a lumberjack face? It's like a Seminole, like a Florida State Seminole, but it's a lumberjack.
Honestly, it's kind of cool.
You put an axe behind it, and that is Florida State's logo.
Just remove the circle. Like, if you could just have the guy's face, it would kind of look like, have you seen those App State uniforms where it's got the dude smoking the corncob pipe on the side? That's the vibe I'm getting. Honestly, I like that the beard's the burnt orange and the cream. That's not bad. That would not look good on an orange helmet.
No, it wouldn't. Not at all.
That would not look good on a cream helmet. I think you'd have to use it on a green. I think, though, you got to get rid of the circle. I think it should just be the guy's face.
100%.
Golly. Shoot.
Wow.
Yeah, that reminds me. What are some of the, we had to deal with probably the roughest color scheme that ChatGPT could have thrown at us. But what are, I feel like we made mountains out of molehills.
Yeah, we made it work.
But what are some of the worst uniforms, or uniforms you just can't stand seeing, whether high school or college? I guess I'm thinking more college and pros, but like, I don't know about you, but I'm getting to where I can't stand the Panthers uniforms. Like, I feel like they still should say Reebok.
Carolina Panthers?
Yeah. They still have those. They still have those Reebok looking like shoulder rings around them. I don't know. I just can't stand that.
Now, I'll tell you what I hate is that the Packers still wear. Okay, so like, you know how Nike has all the jerseys we were just looking at are like the high tech, best of the best.
Yeah.
You think all NFL teams have them, but the Packers still have like the mesh, like bottom half, right? Like
like from the chest or shoulders down is like mesh. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
like Brett Favre should be wearing that.
And apparently it's like the same jerseys manufactured by the same person, but Nike just throws their logo on it. And I believe it because if you look kind of like at the shoulder where the swoosh is, it looks like they kind of forced it in there. Like it wasn't made for
really?
Yeah.
I had no clue about that.
Hold on, let's see if I can.
Of course, Green Bay's a small town. They probably had somebody in town that's always made the uniforms. Now it's the same thing with them not having like a true owner, right? Like it's owned by collection of people.
All right, so look at this. I'm gonna show you this. All right, so you see right here?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like that Nike swoosh is supposed to be there.
No, they kind of just fit it up underneath the shoulder in those little stripes.
Yeah, and like, where have you seen a Nike jersey that looks like that? Like the mesh.
that collar is awful too. Like, good gosh,
what is going on here?
That's a 3-color collar, 3-color shoulder or side shoulder. Yeah, I don't know.
That's
but
weird.
I mean, I guess they're just so. Like all those NFL Nike uniforms, I feel like unless they kind of updated their kits, like they still just, some of the teams kind of look off.
Yeah.
Like Denver obviously updated theirs. The Rams updated theirs. I think the Cardinals updated theirs. But even for a while when they first made the switch, the Cardinals had that just fat Larry Fitzgerald, like curved stripe. And it just, like I can't stand these Panthers. Like take those little shoulder rings off. And then look at the collar that's around that thing. Like that's just, I feel like the color scheme is too good for the Panthers to have jerseys that look like that.
All right, but yeah, look at what I'm talking about here. You see their shoulder Nike swoosh versus Carolina's. Like that looks like it was spaced properly to be in there, and this is just like shoved in there somewhere.
Yeah,
but whatever. It's not.
I think I'm buying into your theory that they just they've still got somebody that does it for them.
Now, what do you think about the? I can't even type. What about the black ones? You like the black ones?
I mean,
little color rush.
I like the black helmet. I just don't like those stripes. Like all the stripes going on.
I think they got bigger.
Yeah, that's not an upgrade. I think I like the black. The black helmet's clean. The black jersey, black pants are clean. They just got to figure out their stripe situation.
I guess they were always big like that.
Yeah, but come on, let's modernize a little bit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what jerseys I hate. You remember Florida when they tried to do like the gator skin jersey?
Oh my gosh, that was awful. It was that green like gator skin color. That was terrible. Yeah, those were some botched ones for sure.
People hate on Maryland
Yeah.
with the helmets, like when they have the flag as their helmet. It's all ones. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like them. I think they're sweet.
I like those. I think that's pretty. But they've kind of even they don't wear those all the time anymore, right?
No,
I think they have like a red with just the M on it that they'll wear, or it says Terps maybe, like back when we were kids.
Yeah,
and they would come to Clemson. They just had a red helmet with Terps. But I like the hand painted, and any hand painted helmet that Navy gets for the Army Navy game. Those have been fire. Those have been fire every year. Like anytime that Army Navy game's coming up, I just look forward to what the uniform scheme's going to be.
Now, I do not support this.
That's no.
Whatever that is, jersey wise, is terrible. The helmet I'm all right with, but the
make
jersey,
the helmet just black.
Yeah, this is way too much. No, I'll tell you what, that Army Navy game where they both wear, the whatever special edition jerseys is always fun to watch because they always do something crazy. Army always has some sweet, like,
there was one that was like a snow ops or something like that, and it was all white. That was clean.
Navy. You want to know who
really screwed up their uniforms recently? So Boston College every year, that one game, they do that red bandana game. Right? And who were they before? They're New Balance now, right?
Don't even. Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about the New Balance jerseys.
So yeah, we can. Good Lord, New Balance for football. Like, what are we doing? But who was theirs before? Was it Adidas before? Under Armour?
I think it was Adidas.
So when they did the red bandana game, I actually kind of liked the Adidas setup for the red bandana game. But New Balance, I think this past week, they came out and said what the New Balance version of that red bandana game is going to be. And they are awful. Like, I think the pants, you might have to Google it, the pants on the side have that red bandana pattern that I think is clean when you just use it in the right spots. But they've got like the logo over the bandana texture now. And it's just it's kind of like those Panther stripes on their pants, like just way too much going on.
Holy, what?
Yeah, I don't know if you can get a picture pulled up.
Is this what you're talking about? Is this really what they did? I don't know why it's so small. Let me zoom in on that.
Yes,
that's
dude.
Blurry. That is terrible.
I saw there was a meme. Yeah, so they were Under Armour. Like the Under Armour ones are pretty good.
Yeah, so they've had Under Armour and Adidas because there's some Adidas here. There's Under Armour there.
Good Lord, they've been in all kinds of whack. But yeah, but the New Balance version of this is terrible. Like,
I guess I should put football in there. Dude, the New Balance neckline.
Yeah, that's so bad.
It's terrible. So bad. Why are these all blurry? See, that tells you right there. They don't want you to see it in full.
Yeah, that picture you just had pulled up where the guy's doing the Heisman pose, that was the new one. I saw this meme online that was they had the picture of the old red bandana uniforms and it said, all right, time to make a change or whatever. And then it scrolls to the new ones and it's just some cartoon guy go, F it, we got to go back or something like that because they screwed it up so bad. Like such a cool concept.
I think this is perfect. Why get away from this?
Yeah, that ought to be it right there. Boston College is a classic look, classic school. Just leave it at that. Just embrace it. It's kind of like Wisconsin. They're going to always look the same with their uniforms. Alabama, all that. They're all going to look the same. Like, you ain't got to go rewriting history here. Man, speaking of Clemson, like, how do you feel? Yeah, God, those are so bad.
That's brutal.
How do you feel about, when we were growing up and it was like Tommy Bowden coaching Clemson, they mixed it up a lot more with the colors than when Dabo took over. But I was looking at some of those old games and watching some of those combinations, and I was like, God, I'm kind of glad we just stuck with the.
There's two that I wish they would wear more often, and they actually did in the Carolina game maybe 2 years ago. All right, so the first that I love, I'm not a big fan of the all purple. I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
And his thing is you wear orange for championship games, right? So when you play Carolina that year, it was the state championship, okay? And it was also military appreciation. So you had purple jerseys, orange pants, all time for me. I love that combination.
Orange, purple, orange?
Yeah.
That's not that bad. That's better than the all purple. I'll give you that.
And then I love white jersey, purple pants. I love it.
That's a clean look. Yeah, that's a clean look. I think I distinctly remember them wearing the orange, white, purple. They were playing at Wake Forest one year when we were growing up, and they just struggled in that game. And so I feel like everybody thought that combination was cursed.
Like this, I never got to wear this when I was there. or I didn't wear any of them, but I never got to, be there when they wore this combo. I love this. I love it. I don't know why.
That's a pretty good look.
But I love it. And then, the Gaines Adams, that same game is when like Gaines Adams blocked.
He blocked a field goal, or something like that, right?
This is a sharp combo for me. Now these are the old jerseys, so don't hate on them for that.
That was before the paw on the shoulder.
Yeah, but that's a sharp. Hate this. Hate that.
That's terrible. That's awful.
Terrible combination. But the all purple is just too much, man.
Do you remember the year that Nike came out with like one shoulder was going to be all a different color, and it was just like one shoulder?
Yes.
What were those?
Georgia and Florida wore them.
Georgia, Florida wore them. Virginia Tech wore them. I mean, it was only a handful of teams that wore them, but I can't even remember what era was like. What was Nike trying to do?
This right here, Chris Leak, that thing.
Yeah,
what you're talking about?
Yeah, what are we talking? Like 2005, right there, 2006. Yeah, I just don't know what they were trying to go for here.
Yeah, what? Now the bulldog with the chain on it, that's kind of sick. Do they actually have that?
That's in college football.
This is 2005. Oh, stupid ads. 2005 is when they wore those jerseys. Not those. These right here.
Honestly, that might have worked pretty clean for Clemson. But yeah, I just don't. Virginia Tech had them that same year. I can't remember if they were trying to come out with like a new type of uniform, and so they were doing something to stand out. That reminds me.
It was. Do you remember the undershirts that had the one sleeve?
Oh yes.
Those were sick. Now undershirts fine, but like regular jerseys, no.
All right. So while we're on the topic, do you remember when Oregon first started changing up uniforms and all that? Do you remember when they had the like silver feathers or whatever that was supposed to be?
Yeah.
On the shoulders, like their running back was like LeGarrette Blount or something, and they first kind of were messing with some stuff. But do you remember when they first wore those chrome helmets? Like it was the first time somebody had ever done chrome on a helmet. That was like
people lost their minds.
Oh, that was an all-time football memory right there.
Yeah,
that had to be like 2012, 2013, maybe.
Wow, this dude has a whole history. Oh my God, dude, look at all these helmets. Like this dude has mapped out everything. All right, let's see how far back we can go. All right, we don't need none of that. So this is when they started like really popping off.
Yeah. Oh my God, what is that? Neon with the O. That is terrible.
This was clean.
That
was clean. That's clean. The classic, I don't mind a throwback. I low-key like this one. Dark
Does that have a texture? Does that have a texture on the gunmetal?
Yeah, it's got like I don't know what the texture is, but you can kind of see it there. It's like
I don't know if
that is, but
there it is right there. It's the middle one, right?
2011.
So they debuted the wings in 2011. Man, I can't believe it's been that long.
And then they moved the O to the back. That white and chrome is clean.
Yeah, that's a clean look.
Yeah, this
man.
Dude.
You just remember you played NCAA 14 back in the day, and like you always made a stop in your dynasty at Oregon. That way you could just have as many uniform options.
Hey, honestly, as you wanted. The throwbacks for Oregon are pretty clean. I like that color combo.
Are you have you been playing? Did you ever download College Football 25?
Well, of course.
I was about to say I figured I already knew the answer, but are you going to be buying 26 or are you going to be riding out 20?
No, they got me. They got me.
I'm fighting that battle. Like I remember every year we used to always get the new version of the game. I think just to get more uniforms, more teams.
Yeah, they got me. And apparently they've changed some of like the mechanics, like running physics behind it, so the running the ball is better because
it's tough. Like you try to run power in 25, like it's tough. Like especially if they're just blitzing, like it's a wide open.
And the cuts some of them make is like they ain't making that cut. Like ain't no way.
How about the interceptions,
dude?
Like some of the picks that you throw in that game, like where the guy's not even looking at the ball.
And he just catches it like this somehow.
Yeah, just something stupid. I'll throw like because I try to play on Heisman or whatever. Yeah. I'll throw like 4 or 5 picks a game. I might throw for 6 touchdowns, but I'm gonna have 4 or 5 picks. Like,
and the worst part is there's so many plays. Like a person can literally find this cheat play is what I call it, but it's a certain formation. And it's a certain play where no matter what defense you run, what adjustment you make, it's like a quick, how do I explain it? It's a pre-snap shift with a quick pitch, but you're outmanned no matter what you do. And I've done everything that I could possibly, I've gone through every defensive playbook in there. Nothing beats it. And they're going to get like 15 yards every time if they don't bust it for a touchdown. And so I'm like, it got ran on me like an entire game. and I got mad. So I'm like deep in a rabbit hole, like on Reddit, like, all right, how do you defeat the yada yada, whatever. There's apparently it's like a glitch. Like no matter what you do, you're always going to be outmanned, and they're always going to get whatever. So I'm like, all right, whatever, corner blitz
And
every
Reddit,
time.
whenever in that 10-year period or whatever it was that we didn't have a new college football game,
Yeah.
Reddit was the only way that I could keep 2014 relevant.
Mhm.
Like they would have different ways to play Dynasty just to like give you a little. So I did this one time where you had to be Hawaii and you could only recruit people from Hawaii, and you had to try to win a national championship on Heisman.
Oh,
Dude, honestly, a pretty good time.
yeah.
Like, cause on 2014, they'd only have a 5-star like every 2-3 years. So like, and heaven forbid it wasn't a quarterback. If it happened to be like a defensive end or something, you were sitting there scraping with another 3-star quarterback or something like that. But I don't know. There were just so many ways to try to keep 14 interesting.
What I like they've done, so apparently in 26 they're doing a deeper Road to Glory mode.
Okay.
With a high school component.
I missed that. Yeah, I missed that. From 14 to 25.
Now you can do cross-play on Dynasty Road to Glory, or sorry, Dynasty Road to the Playoff Ultimate Team. You can do cross-platform on all of that, because I know originally you were only able to do cross-play in like a weird way, and it wasn't as you couldn't just play now cross-play. You had to like have the same console.
Did you ever do an online Dynasty?
I did, but
dude, those are so fun. But like the worst part was trying to coordinate when we were going to advance the week, and when you had to do all that. But like if you just had like your boys like for 8 hours on a Saturday, and you could just like right then and there, everybody get their work in, especially in college, and you had like the 3 dorms all beside each other, and you could just like yell down the hall like, "Hey, we're ready to advance,"
But yet now it's so hard to like coordinate, and it's like the fantasy league where you forgot you were having a draft, because I have like 6 fantasy leagues every year, and there's always one I forget, and I just auto drafts the whole thing, and my team's terrible, so I just don't even check it ever.
Yeah,
it becomes that, and it's like, oh, all right, James isn't playing anymore, so I'm not going to do it anymore, and then nobody ends up playing. There's the one guy trying to advance the week every week, and it just never works.
I was excited because on this new College Football 25, they brought back Team Builder or whatever.
Mm.
And, so you bring in whatever teams you want. So I'm going to get a dynasty. I'm going to put it, but like, you just don't have a lot of stadium options and stuff.
Yeah.
And, so you have to kind of, I might have my FCS school playing in Louisiana Tech Stadium because it's just 2 sides or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some thing, if they could just give us some generic stadiums and all that.
Yeah. And what I want to do with the Team Builder this year, I kind of started it last year, didn't finish all the way, but I want to build Palmetto, right? So you have Palmetto High School in Team Builder, and then I want to build our playbook with our actual plays so that kids can play it and hopefully learn their freaking routes, because some of them still don't know what we're doing, and we've been doing it for a month now. But maybe that'll happen and it'll help.
Well, hey, you got to make Briar Gulch now that we got our uniforms set up for them.
Yeah.
And you do a little dynasty mode with them, bring the Timberjacks to some prominence.
They definitely
that's a pretty good idea.
They're definitely like a triple option kind of team, just gritty.
That's the vibe I'm getting. Yeah. We're gonna get a bunch of 2-stars from Montana and the Dakotas. And
we got 5
Midwest.
5'11" linemen, but they'll bite you in the knees, man.
We'll get a 2 or 3-star scrambler, and he'll run it. We'll try to do something with Briar Gulch, and good Lord, we'll try to do something with the uniforms, but.
Hopefully we get a better one next week.
We hit the hour point pretty fast tonight. When you're sitting there trying to figure out how to make burnt orange and cream and forest green all work together, that kills a lot of time. But as always, guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in, and we're always putting episodes out once a week, every Sunday. YouTube, Spotify, Podcasts. Jack, we are now over 1,000 listeners.
Nice.
So we crossed the milestone, and I hadn't checked what countries we might have branched into this time, but maybe we can do a little update on where everybody's coming from. But we got a bunch of Briar Gulch fans out there in the making, long story short.
We need to figure out how to do like a call-in or something. Talk to some of these people in the Netherlands or something.
Yeah, see what people in Poland are thinking about high school football in America. We got you might have some Palmetto Mustang fans forming in Mexico or something.
Hey, you never know. We might have an auxiliary campus. Maybe get some transfers in from...
Transfers, man. Yeah, get the portal open. I don't know how the rules would work international, but foreign exchange kids.
Yeah.
They're all trying to get to Palmetto and Forney High. But all right, we'll let you go. Appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yep.